This is Yair Davidiy speaking to you from Jerusalem, the capital of Israel. I'm speaking to you on behalf of Hebrew Nations Brit-Am. Our organisation and movement believes that Muslim tribes are now to be found amongst Western nations. We identify specific Western nations with Israelite tribes. We have a book on this subject, and we have altogether 9 books and also magazines, publications, and thousands of articles on the subject, and we examine every aspect of the Western tribes that is possible to examine. And we have been enabled, thank God, to identify specific peoples with Israelite tribes and tribal groups. And these identifications on the whole stand up very well to scrutiny and examination, and they even allow us to predict patterns of behaviour based on tribal profiles. And this is what we do. We research the subject. We research the subject concerning Western tribes. We reveal the information. We publicise it. And we also work towards reconciliation between Judah and the lost in tribes of Israel. Research, revelation, or reconciliation. So now we're going to study. We're going to have a look at certain points concerning tribal names, the leaders of the specific tribes as recorded in the book of Numbers, the one point in history, and we're going to try and find a pattern in these names. And this is quite openly, this is open and unapologetic speculation. So that's the way we do things. We find things, we find research facts, black and white, irrefutable facts, hardcore information that cannot be refuted. We publicise it. We also do research. We do research, and we look for things, and we examine things, and we explore things, and we propose things, and sometimes we have to modify our suggestions or correct ourselves or even backtrack and start again. And it all comes together in the end. As long as we continue doing what we should do and believe in God Almighty, and try and remain as honest as possible to ourselves and before God, and we get somewhere. But it involves in some areas degrees of speculation, of guesswork that pay off in some cases they don't. This is the way it goes. This is what we have. So we don't hide this. We openly admit it. And we openly admit it together with emphasizing the fact that we also have hardcore information that corroborates and affirms our general conclusions concerning that the lost in tribes now, descendants of lost in tribes now, are to be found amongst Western nations. So one point that is more in an uncertain area, in an area of speculation, of guessing or suggesting, concerns these names, the names of the tribes and their meanings and their associations. And we have written books on this, we have written a work on this, and we have shown that the associations of the different tribes were reflected in historical events and historical patterns of behaviour. But now we're going to go back and look at another aspect of it. When the Israelites came out of Egypt, they came out of Egypt and they moved through the wilderness in order to get to the promised land of Canaan, which they conquered. On their journey through the wilderness, they were encamped around the tabernacle, and there they received the laws in their encampments and in their marchings. And the first 5 books of the Bible are mainly concentrated or derived from this period, from these events. This is the major portion of the Bible. This is the Torah. So we are told how the Israelite tribes were encamped around the tabernacle in the wilderness. The tabernacle was in the center. The Levites were in charge of the tabernacle. They were encamped together with the tabernacle, around the tabernacle, and around them were the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 tribes of Israel were in groups of 3, 4 groups of 3, beginning from the east you had the group headed by Judah. In the south you had the group headed by Reuben, and in the west you had the group headed by Ephraim, and in the north you had the group headed by Dan. And these groups are listed, they're described in the book of Numbers, and we've also given other talks on them. Each tribe had its own banner, its own symbol, and the symbols, we also find these symbols amongst modern nations or parallels to them amongst the folklore of entities in the West whom we identify as being the central lost tribes of Israel. So each tribe had its own symbol, and each tribal group these tribal groups are listed in the books of Numbers, and also the heads, the princes of each tribe is given. So what we did, we took each group of 3 and we translated into English the meaning of the tribal name, and then we translated into English the meaning of the prince of each tribe. We showed how in each group of 3 these word meanings have similarities. There is a commonality shared by each group concerning the names, the meaning of these names, and this has significant reflecting possibly upon the characteristics of the tribal group, and also future may even have a significance in the future, predicting or suggesting what their fate will be, how things will develop with them. And this is what we have done, and there may be some problems with it. The exact literal translation of each name is very difficult. It's not certain, and each and every name you can print a whole booklet concerning the possibilities of it and the implications of it. So in some cases we've been quite arbitrary in how we decided that the name should be translated. But nevertheless, on the whole, it may be accepted that we are on the right track. What the meanings we have given are more or less the meanings intended by the Bible, and even if we are wrong on this is probably only on minor points or only on details, the overall impression what we have of the meanings of these names may be assumed, may be accepted for our purposes. And we thought we'd also share with you some of our findings. Remember that it's speculation, but it's interesting, it's educational, it's enlightening, and it's enjoyable. And so here we go. So on the east side, the Numbers begins, the east side, we have the group, the triumvirate, the threesome, which was headed by Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. And it says Judah, and the prince was Nachshon, the son of Aminadab. So Judah, the name Judah means thanks, or acknowledgement to God, acknowledge the truth, Judah. And it was led by Nachshon, whose name means little snake, the son of Aminadab. Aminadab means he who volunteers on behalf of the people. So this is what we have for the first one. Then we have Issachar and Nathaniel, the son of Zua. So the name Issachar means give payment as reward, and the meaning of Nathaniel, the son of Zua, of his prince, means gift of God, son of the self-effacing one, son of someone who is modest, who diminishes his own importance because he is interested in furthering the major cause. And after that we have Zebulun. Zebulun means fertile dwelling. That's possibly the meaning of the name Zebulun, led by Eliab, the son of Helon. Eliab means God is my father. Helon probably means the powerful one. So we have these 3 names, and these 3 names, as we said, acknowledge the truth, led by Little Snake, the son of he who volunteers on behalf of the people, give payment as reward, led by gift of God, son of the self-effacing one, and fertile dwelling, led by God is my father, son of the powerful one. So we have these 3 names, and in general they do have a commonality. There's a certain common denominator with them, but only in general. So we could say there's an emphasis on power, on leadership, on giving, of enjoying what one receives, but also giving forth of oneself as guided by the Almighty. We identify Judah with the Jews, Issachar with the Swiss and Finns, and Zebulun with the Dutch. So perhaps somehow, somewhere, there are implications on these names and the meaning of the names. On the south side we have Reuben. Reuben was together with Simeon, Shimon in Hebrew, Simeon and Gad, in the tribe of Gad. The south side was led by Reuben. Reuben was led by Elitzur, the son of Shaddai-Ur. Reuben means seer son. Shaddai-Ur means Reuben led by Elitzur, the son of Shaddai-Ur. That is Reuben, seer son, led by Elitzur. God is my rock. Son of the Almighty is my light. Then we have Shimeon. Shimeon means hear my cry. Led by Shlumiel, the son of Zuri Shaddai. Shlumiel means God is my wholeness, God is my completion. The name is Shalom. Shalom means both peace and completion and good health. Everything all together. Shlumi, and that is given to us by God. The son of Zuri Shaddai, the Almighty is my rock. And then we have Gad, the tribe of Gad, led by Eliasaph, the son of Ruel. Gad, the name Gad means a unit of warriors. Gad, led by Eliasaph, the son of Ruel. Eliasaph means God will gather me together. And he was the son of Ruel, meaning God is my shepherd. So here too is not so obvious, but there is a certain commonality, or we see a commonality in these names. These three names, they seem to denote the idea that God is the source of all good, God is our reward and our salvation. So we could say that the indication is more trust, more of a passive nature, one could say, in a sense, for these three tribes. Now, present identifications of these tribes, we find Reuben amongst the French, Simeon amongst the Welsh and Irish, and Gad amongst the Swedes. Going from the east, that where we had the group headed by Judah, the south, the group headed by Reuben. Then we come to the west, the group headed by Ephraim. With Ephraim was Manasseh and Benjamin, and these are the descendants of Rachel. Rachel, the favourite wife of Jacob. So we have Ephraim, the tribe of Ephraim, and Ephraim is headed by Elishama, the son of Ammihud. So Ephraim means a double portion of fertility. Ephraim, led by Ammihud, means God. Elishama, led by Elishama, son of Ammihud. Elishama means my God heard me, my God hears. Son of Ammihud, meaning that the glory of my people. Fertility, double portion of fertility, led by my God hears. Son of glory of my people. It's a bit complicated, but we'll get there. And then we have also the Manasseh. Manasseh has several meanings, but we take Manasseh to mean a right of representation. Manasseh in Hebrew can also mean forgetting, but as we have shown, as Rabbi Shimshon Raphael Hirsch's son, it actually means right of representation. We find Manasseh amongst the Americans, where the right of representation is very important. That is the name of the meaning Manasseh. Led by Gamaliel, son of Padatzur. Gamaliel means my God requites, my God gives rewards, or brings to maturity. Son of Padatzur, meaning the rock, that is the rock God, the rock redeems. And then we have Benjamin. Benjamin means son of my might, and also son of my right hand, as if to say Binyamin, or Ben Oni, as was the other name given to him, Benjamin, led by Abidan, the son of Gidoni. So Benjamin, son of my right and might, led by Abidan, that is my father. is my judge, son of strength of my division. So here we have possible common denominators are assertive power, an assertion of power, together with a reliance on reward from God. In other words, they have more of indications of initiative, of self-reliance and of taking the initiative, but having ultimate faith in God assisting us. And our present identifications, we identify prime with the British, and that includes the Australians, the New Zealanders, the Canadians, the South Africans. Actually, we identify with the Americans of the USA, and Benjamin we find mainly amongst the Jews, but though we also find the offshoots of Benjamin elsewhere. And these common denominators and these characteristics fit these peoples, more or less. They fit them. And finally, on the north side, remember we started from the east, we went to the south, the west, and now we're up in the north. This is the last group. The last group of three. There are four groups. The last group of three is headed by Dan. Dan is together with Asher and Naphtali. And so we have, if you want to look it up in Numbers 2 to verse 25, this is it's around there in the very beginning of Numbers, these sources we're speaking of. And we have Dan. Dan means judgment, led by Ahiezer, the son of Ammishaddai. So Dan means judgment. Ahiezer means aid to my brothers. I will give help to my brothers. Son of Ammishaddai. Ammishaddai. Shaddai means God Almighty, and Ami means my people. So God of my people. So we have a Dan, judgment, led by aid to my brothers, son of God of my people. And then we have Asher. Asher was led by Pagiel, the son of Ochran. It's a difficult name, difficult names, but on general we can say that Asher, the name Asher means assurity, means happiness. And he was led by Pagiel, the son of Achran. Pagiel probably means entreat, importune of God, ask God very strongly, importune as if to say, the Almighty. Son of Ochran means get to the source, possibly from the Ika, from the word Ika, meaning the main point, but it can also mean Achran, to trouble, to disturb. In other words, get to the nerve center, literally. So this is the idea is there. And then we have Naphtali. Naphtali was led by Ahira, the son of Anan, and the name Naphtali means struggle and wrestle. Led by Ahira. Ahira probably means shepherd of my brothers, or of my brother Ahira. Or companion of my brothers, but more likely shepherd, shepherd of my brothers, son of Anan, meaning the source. And so there is too, here too we find a commonality, on the whole a general commonality, and we could say that all these names more or less all connote a demandment of judgment, of the intervention of God, an acknowledgement of God, and a rendering of assistance to your fellows, to your brothers. Present identifications, on the whole we identify Dan with the Danes. We also find Dan amongst the Irish. Asher we identify with a portion of the Irish and the Scotch, and we also find the sense of Asher amongst the Scandinavians. And Naphtali, on the whole, we identify once again with people who settle in Ireland, but mainly with the Norwegians. So these are the identifications, the characteristics that we indicated do fit in the national characteristics or the attributes of these nations to some degree from an historical point of view. And it's all worth taking into consideration. We learn, that's the way we learn, and that's the way we expand our knowledge, and God gives us wisdom. This is how we teach ourselves and are enabled to teach others. May the God of Israel bless all of us. We should remember that the God of Israel reveals himself to the world through the Bible, and the Bible is concerned with the children of Israel. That is how God wanted it. God wanted it to reach the world, to reveal himself to the world through the children of Israel. And the children of Israel include the Jewish people, and they also include the 10 tribes of Israel. And the two sections, the 10 tribes of Israel and the Jews, have to come together, and ultimately they shall reunite. Today, one of the most important tasks that we may have, is to reveal and to affirm the tribal ancestral identity of the lost 10 tribes amongst Western peoples. Thank you.